had other thing. I had things I was thinking about. Obviously the whole Chick-fil-A thing. I'm annoyed. It's just annoying me. Um, I don't eat that stuff. I don't eat fast food, McDonald's or any of that shit. Wendy's, all that crap. I haven't eaten it in like close to 10 years. I haven't eaten. I haven't. I proudly have not eaten a single thing from McDonald's in like 10 years. I just gave all that stuff up. I have a lot of friends that are vegans and um, all that stuff, and they kind of showed me the error of my ways. Ironically, since I got healthy, I also quit smoking and this and that, and I don't drink. I gained weight. Anybody who knows me knows that I always struggled with my weight because I was always a fucking. I mean, literally. Well, this was back when I was doing drugs, but when I was doing coke, I was down to 94 pounds. That'll happen though. That'll happen. I was like, oh shit, I think I might gotta stop doing this stuff. I gotta stop doing no more bloat. But that was just a fucked up 2 year period, so that was 100 years ago. But anyway, so yeah, I don't eat any of that shit. So the Chick-fil-A thing is kind of dead on me, though. They have read that they give money to really horrible groups, like groups that want to kill gay people. Not just, I mean, you can dislike or hate gay people. You can say gay people shouldn't get married. That's fine. I have nothing. I have nothing against what the guy from Chick-fil-A said. Um, I do, however, when when they when they cross the line. I mean, he has a right to believe what he wants, but or say what he wants. And if he wants to found his company on Christian, quote unquote Christian values, though I think his Christian values are fucked because they don't make sense. Because no Christian value is for he supports groups that want to kill gay people, want to imprison gay people, and these are facts, and that's not Christian values, and so they're again warping the Bible, like the Bible was warped. And a lot of people don't know this. The Bible was used to discriminate against African Americans. I mean, they used to take out and misquote the Bible like they're doing with gays to put down and blacks, like African Americans, back years and years and years ago, 40 years ago. So, it's the same fucking thing, you know? So, I also think it's another thing, and then I'll shut up about Chick-fil-A because I'm so sick of the whole thing. Um, the other thing I was thinking about the other day is I think a lot of people would support gay marriage and gay issues if it wasn't for the fact that if you come out in support of gay issues, people think you're gay. Like, why is that? I don't get that. Like, if you're supportive of equal rights for blacks or women, they're not going to look at you and go, you're black. You know what I mean? Like, but then also, why do you give a fuck if people think you're gay? You know what I mean? I don't know. There's just, because then you got to look at yourself, and nobody wants to look at themselves. But then you got to look at yourself. Like, if you know that you're a heterosexual guy, then what the fuck do you care? And also, what do you care? What the hell is so special about being heterosexual, or homosexual? What's so special about being gay? What's so all I see is a group of people that are being discriminated against for whatever, for something that they can't control, something that they're born with. They're being discriminated against, and I think that's wrong. That's all I see, and if people want to think I'm something or think things about me as a result, that's on them. It's not on me. I just think discrimination's wrong. I just don't. It's since I've been a kid, I've always been afraid of it. It's always scary. I think the idea of like discriminating, just like blindly hating people because they're Jewish, they're black, they're gay, they're Asian, they're anything. I mean, it always made me nervous ever since I was a kid. So of course I'm jumping on the pro-gay. I don't understand why they don't. It's fucked up if they say they don't like gays because they're promiscuous and they're spreading disease or whatever, so they say. Um, but then they won't let them get married. So if a gay person wants to get married, then they're going to be in a committed relationship, blah, blah, blah. So wouldn't that, you know? I don't get it. I just don't. You guys are whacked. Someone please explain the reason for this destiny. What is that song? Someone please. Oh, it's a Duran Duran song. All right, I gotta go on with this music thing. All right. Oh, Sherman Hemsley was gay. I know Mr. George Jefferson with the pimp. Everybody loved his little pimp stole in Jefferson's Moving On Up. He was a gay man. I didn't know that. I just read an article about him. Anyway, so the first CD is a group called Murder Squad. This is the album. They're called Murder Squad, and they're a sort of grindcore death metal band. They're a little cooler in the sense that it's underproduced, not way underproduced like the Norwegian death metal, where it sounds like they just go to a recorder in the middle of the room and they just start to go playing. It's produced, but it has like a cheap sort of like garage feel to it, and it kind of like borderlines on punk sound until you get to the vocals, which are very traditional grindcore, which is okay because of the fact that there's also a lyric sheet in this. Note to all death metal, grindcore, thrash, whatever: do not put a lyric sheet in your album, because the lyrics are, as followed. This is from a song called Slow Burnt to Death. Vile smell of burning flesh, twisted corpses everywhere, licked by flame, fire slowly burnt to death, eyes melted from their sockets, screaming as they die. Flesh falls from their bones. You get the picture, So don't put a lyric sheet. I'm a lyric nerd. I love good lyricists. I have lists of people that I think are incredible lyricists, and I really love a person who can turn a phrase and write really, really smart lyrics, and these guys can't. So it's just, I like them though. I'm going to give them a 2-star because I generally I kind of get into this kind of silly comic book horror music. I like a lot of different styles of music, but this stuff kind of cracks me up. The album is called Unsane, Insane, and Mentally Deranged. It came out in 2001. Wow, so it's really old. Murder Squad. I don't know what they're doing now, but that's them, and it's not that bad. So if you see it in the cutout bin, I would say get it, pick it up. It's fun to listen to. Don't read the lyric sheet. Well, unless you're into this stuff. It's very comic booky and that sort of like, it's very like horror movie, very silly. And by looking at the cover, it's all like corpses or zombies eating people. So it is what it is. All right, so that's Murder Squad. 2 stars. The next band is called 1 + 1 is 1, and this came out in 2004. Very sort of like, now I was thinking about them while listening to them in my car. It's very not hippie, what am I talking about? It's very, I constantly mention, because I'm such a Beatles nerd, it's very, it is very, the first song is very Sgt. Pepper. It's very Beatle-like, but I had a revelation. Who cares if it's Beatle-like? Everything's a derivative of something else, and everyone in music and everything and all forms of art have been influenced by somebody else. So if they sound at times like the Beatles, Cheap Trick is like the best. I love Cheap Trick, and Cheap Trick is basically a Beatles cover band. I've said it a million times because they're so heavily influenced by the Beatles, and you listen to any Cheap Trick song and you hear the Beatles. And these guys are the same way. They're not as good at Cheap Trick, but that's another story. But yeah, so I'm tired of like penalizing people for being like fans of like sounding too Beatles, blah blah blah. This is okay. It didn't really keep my attention. They're on Twisted Nerve Records. The first song I thought was really good. I don't I can't see it lyrics. I mean a list of the song titles, so I don't know what it's called. But yeah. So they're not a bad band, but I don't even know if they're around though still. 'Cause it's 2004. But it's not a bad album. If you see it in the cutout bin, I would go with Murder Squad first because that's just me. Um, this group here, I would think about. I don't know. But the cover's kind of bland, and it's nothing that jumps out at me that would make me want to buy it. But you know, it's not that bad. It's very musical, but it's not that bad. I give it a 1 star. That sounds like I hate it. I give it a 2 star for a different reason than Murder Squad, because it's good, but you know, it's not the best, but it's not the worst either. So I'll give it 2 stars. So um, yeah, that's kind of a shitty review. Sorry. The next one is a group called Eels, not the Eels. Eels with Soul Jacker. Okay. I like the cover. I liked the cover a lot. The guy was holding a sheep or a dog or something, and it's kind of like staticky. Um, Souljacker, including Souljacker Part 1 and 2. But anyway, these guys, I really like. I've never heard of them. Really like this album. This was in the $1.99 bin. Really liked this. I was really. You little punks think you own this town. That's the name of the album. That's kind of a funny title. You little punks think you own this town. I like that. Anyway, oh no, that's not the title. Souljacker is. Oh, anyway, that's just on the cover right there in small letters. I like this album though. It's very musical. They're very musical, and you don't get bands that are very musical anymore. Um, my favorite song is a song called Dog Faced Boy. It's really I listened over and over and over to that song. I listened to this whole album all the way through. Then I went back to listen to Dog Faced Boy a couple times because I thought that was such a good song. And then I listened to the album again, in its entirety. I really like these guys. I looked them up online, like I always do with everybody. I looked into Facebook to see if there's any videos or performances, and apparently they've been around. They performed, they had a different album, and they performed on David Letterman, and I watched that, and they were really good. I really like this guy's voice. It reminds me a lot of bands that from the Boston music scene. There was a band called Chevy S10 that eventually changed the name to Chevy Heston, I think it was. I can't remember. So fucking long ago. But the guy's voice reminded me of the guy in that band. So it reminded me a lot of some stuff from like early '90s Boston music scene, but they're not as heavy as a lot of that stuff. They're very musical, very kind of like, oh God, I can't really. They're perfect. They're I think the best that I've heard of a band that mixes like electronics with acoustics, because he plays acoustic guitar a lot, and he'll like put like break beats or like almost hip hoppy kind of like rhythm or like a section, for music, and or at least it'll sound like it, but then you learn that then as you listen on it, you learn that there's a real drummer and a bass player. But it's really cool. The instrumentation's really good, and I like his voice, and he's got some really good lyrics. I really like this album a lot. I'm going to give this a 5 star. Never heard of these guys. Don't know anything about them except for they're called the Eels Souljacker. I don't know when this album came out. It's very good though. It's not like aggressive or noisy, or it's very musical, very God, I wish I had a. It doesn't need a category. It's just music. It's just good. I got this for $1.99 out of a cutout bin. So if you can find it for $1.99 in a cutout bin, definitely get this. Definitely get this album because it's really good. It's a really good album. So that's it for today.